Okay, another codex that I'm not loving. Seriously, Games Workshop, do you watch my videos? Are you picking the armies that I'm playing to slap in the face? First the Space Marines, your babies who have to be good. Then the Custodes, who are supposed to take the Space Marines on a walk. Then my Death Watch, which you were forced to backpedal. And now my boys, the Imperial Knights.
At least the Chaos factions are doing good in the Year of Chaos.
I suppose that's good, but why was this book so fucked? I don't know. Maybe this won't be the worst codex, but Knights have been in an odd place the entire edition. Have they been low? No. Have they been high? No. They've been in the perfect middle until their most recent changes with the Chaos Knights Codex, which gave every character knight 4 extra wounds, then reduced their toughness and their objective control, and shot them in the face with the bracketing. Weirdly enough, at that point, the Imperial Knights shot to first place, with their old index rule, with the Chaos Knights being very close behind. Maybe I'm very wrong on the Codex, but I know some of the rulings are very weird.
Right into it?
Yeah, there's 4 detachments plus the Christmas one, but we're not going to touch that one. The army rule also changed, and we'll need to touch on that in order to understand some of my complaints. I should also point out that the app finally added the combat patrol, which I did a video for already, and I pointed out that it was weird. So, first off, army rule, or rather rules. 3 of them are similar, if not the same, which I ain't gonna go after. Code Chivalry got a major change though. It's a huge army rule now. Essentially, you can choose an action to perform or deed to gain a bonus or quality. The bonus applies through the game, but if you complete the deed, you'll gain 2 command points, or 3 if you randomly select them with a dice roll. Deeds are as follows. We vow to lay low the tyrant. This is like the old lay low the tyrant. It says to choose a character your opponent has, and your goal is to kill it, though it used to be kill the warlord of your opponent's army. We swear to reclaim the realm is the new version of reclaim the realm, but the goal is also changed. Your goal for this one is to have more objectives than your opponent, which is a lot easier than what it used to have you do, which was get your opponent's home objective. The last one is a new one, and it's we pledge to reap a great tally. Your goal is to destroy more of your enemy's units than your units are destroyed. This one is pretty easy in the grand scheme of things, since the machine army is hard to hurt, though easier now. Now, the quality is the bonuses you'll get, and you have 3 options for these. You can combine these with any deeds. With all our martial valor risen over all is the tyrant option. You can reroll 1 hit and 1 wound roll in both the shooting and fight phase for each model. And we are eager for the challenge is the reclaim the realm bonus. Bonus to movement, advance, and charge. Not often worth it, but it can help in a couple of options. Problem is there's no good detachment for this one. And the last is yet shall our legacy be unsullied, which boosts the objective control by 2 and leadership by 1, which the knights might need now, but is worthless if your units are bracketed, as that bonus does not apply. I could talk about the bracketed thing, as there's a bit in the updates and errata section of the app that talks about the slight change of the objective control scores for all knights when under certain damage levels. But detachments. First up, Gate Warden Lands. Detachment rule is Dauntless Defenders. And it's a long one. It's also the one with the weird wording I mentioned before. You'll choose 2 objective markers on the field. Any 2, it says. So you could make this line go in all sorts of ways. This line that connects the 2 of them is the defensive line, and any model that touches this line with its base, or the model outline if it doesn't have a base, will be on the defensive line. When your knight is on this line, it'll allow you to ignore any or all modifiers to hit rolls, and weapons will have sustained hits 1. If one of the foundations is removed for any reason, like in some situations with primary objectives, you'll choose a new foundation to make a line with immediately. The enhancements of this detachment give a rather wide variety of options. 1 for objective control of Questoris, 1 for melee, which is nice since this army needs a melee detachment, 1 for gunners, and the last one for tank shock, which is a knight's thing. This is your Universalist detachment, which feels like it's vibed to the Questoris Mechanicus, which I'll admit I kind of like the look of their icons, so I vibe with it. I'll probably use this when I play, since I like a good universal army. Next is the Christmas detachment, healing knights with admechs, working with them, yada yada. After that, we've got Questoris Companions, which is a weird name. Detachment rules is Heroes of Legend. It lets you choose a new oath, a deed and quality, every new turn after you complete one, until you get everything and get all of the bonuses. You'll get an extra command point each time you complete a new oath, even if you randomly select them. There's also Valor's Reward, and this applies to your enhancements. Each enhancement can only be used once until you complete your oath, which resets them. These enhancements are either absolutely fantastic or absolutely worthless, no in-betweens. Mostly just some reroll effects. 1 is a battle shock causer, and 1 is mortal wounds to the guy that's way over there. That one's great. Spearhead at Arms is the next one, and this is the Armiger detachment. It gives the battle line keyword to the Armigers, which is the only way for the Imperial Knights to have more than 2 battle line units. I have some major spite with this, since Chaos Knights have options for battle line with the Daemons, and there's no limit to them, while the Imperial Knights can only bring 1, 2, or 3 units from the Imperial Agents, depending on the size of your game. And that's not even the detachment rule. Knightly Teachings. This essentially makes it so only 1 Questoris uses their Bondsman ability. You can affect 3 Armigers instead of just 1, and you can select them up to a foot away or 15 inches if you've completed the oath. So the Armiger detachment buffs the Questoris models. What do the enhancements do? You put them on your characters to buff your Armigers. So this is a Questoris and Dominus detachment. Hell, the army rule really does want you to bring 1 Questoris and use your enhancements on the Dominus in order to give the Dominus cover bonus, which hardly does anything without cover now works. Last detachment is the Valor Strike Lance, which just gives the Imperial Knights ranged weapons the assault ability, but only if they advance, which is the only time it's useful, so meh. This ain't really shit. Honestly, I could see this being useful if it's a heavy terrain situation, but most knights don't really need to advance, like, ever, except maybe the Armigers, who you can only bring 3 of each in this detachment. The enhancements in this are all about shooting and moving, which really does feel like this detachment is meant specifically to fight the Eldar. This one is just probably the worst. In all honesty, the first one is probably the best. The Christmas one also got higher in the detachment list now. Hell, they took the one defensive thing they had and threw it out the 3rd story floor. And they made a detachment that wants to get closer, but this army should not get close. This army really should have gotten a melee specific detachment, since the Warglaive and the Knight Gallant are melee focused. But there's a few melee things in this army. Hell, you can melee a knight and it breaks their own defensive abilities. I don't have high hopes for this. I think this thing I hate the most is the fact that there's still not the throw the tank stratagem from older editions. Unless we count the one of those single use enhancements that causes mortal wounds. I don't have hope for this army. Chaos Knights are near the top, and I'll be watching the Imperial Knights to see how they do. But this edition is nearly done, so we'll see what happens. Shove off.